The desert sun was brutal, glaring off the cockpits of 4 F-16s cutting across hostile skies. The mission was supposed to be routine, a sweep, a show of presence. But within minutes, routine turned into nightmare. Radar screens began to scream, one lock, then another, then 5. Missile trails cut through the sky like white daggers. "Falcon flight! Break! Break!" the leader shouted. Countermeasures flared, jets broke formation, but it was useless. They were surrounded, every escape route closed, out of ammo, low on fuel. And then, in their darkest moment, a calm voice pierced the chaos. "Hog inbound." They didn't know it yet, but the storm had arrived. The F-16s were flying a patrol deep over desert terrain, skimming the edge of enemy-controlled mountains. The briefing had been simple. Check for enemy armor movements, sweep the skies, return home. But the enemy was waiting. Hidden in the valleys were convoys of armored vehicles, anti-aircraft trucks covered in camo nets, and mobile SAM systems tucked under rock overhangs. A kill box. Falcon 1, the leader, tried to keep his voice steady. "Stay tight, maintain altitude, we're not here to engage." But then the locks came. High-pitched alarms filled their helmets. "2 locks, 3, 4, Falcon 2 shouted. "Missiles inbound, defensive." The desert lit up. Dozens of contrails slashed upward, curving toward them like hunting serpents. The F-16s dove, flares and chaff streaking behind them. Sonic booms cracked across the valley, but the missiles kept coming. "Falcon 3, you've got 2 on you. Brake left. I can't. Engine warning, I'm hit." A flash. A scream cut short. Falcon 3's jet spiraled down, smashing into the sand below in a fiery mushroom of dust and smoke. The others were still alive, but barely. Fuel bleeding, countermeasures nearly spent, ammunition long gone. Falcon 1 slammed his fist on the console. "This is Falcon Flight. Any friendly in range, request immediate support. We are pinned." "Repeat, we are pinned." For a long moment, only static. Then came that calm, almost casual reply. "Hog inbound, sit tight, Falcons." The 3 surviving pilots froze. Did they hear that right? An A-10? Out here? To fast-mover pilots, the A-10 Thunderbolt II was a strange beast. Slow, ugly, built like a tank with wings. Some even called it outdated, but the enemy knew better. The Falcons first heard her before they saw her, the low growl of twin turbofans. Then, through the haze of heat and smoke, the silhouette emerged. An A-10 Warthog cutting across the desert sky, its shark-toothed nose glaring like a predator, armor scarred, paint chipped but alive. And inside, one woman, calm, focused, every move deliberate. "Falcon Flight, I've got your 6. Mark your positions. I'll clean the valley." Then the sound. "Bert!" The GAU-8 Avenger cannon erupted, a 7-barrel monster spitting 30mm rounds at 3,900 per minute. Each shell the size of a soda can. Each capable of tearing tanks in half. The desert floor exploded, trucks disintegrated, SAM launchers blossomed into fireballs, armored convoys were shredded before they could even aim. Falcon 2 could hardly believe it. She's diving straight into them." The Hog didn't dodge, it didn't retreat, it dove into the storm. Tracers arced upward, missiles streaked past. The Warthog rolled low, skimmed a ridge, then unleashed rockets into a column of enemy armor. Explosions rattled the mountains. "She's insane," Falcon 4 whispered. "No," Falcon 1 corrected. "She's saving us." The enemy wasn't finished, far from it. Mobile launchers repositioned, firing fresh volleys. AAA guns opened up, stitching the air with flaming arcs. It was a sky made of death. And yet the A-10 pressed in. Her cockpit shook with every near miss. Warning lights flashed red. A missile grazed her wing, leaving a trail of smoke. Shrapnel peppered her fuselage. But she never wavered. She flew low, beneath radar arcs, hugging the ground so tightly that dust plumes rose in her wake. Then she popped up over a ridge, lined up a target, and the Avenger roared again. "Bird!" A missile battery vanished in a chain of explosions. The Falcons, circling high to conserve fuel, could only watch in awe. "Who is this pilot?" Falcon 2 muttered. "Doesn't matter," Falcon 1 said. "She's an angel and a hog." Minutes dragged into eternity. The Hog tore through convoys, silenced gun nests, shredded anything that dared lock onto her. Every time the enemy thought they had her cornered, she was already on top of them, spitting fire and steel. And every time the Falcons thought it was over, she came roaring back through smoke and flame, unshaken. Slowly, impossibly, the balance shifted. The valley's deadly network was collapsing. Launchers destroyed, convoys scattered, anti-air trucks abandoned, their crews fleeing into the desert. Still, the Hog didn't relent. Falcon flight. Her voice came over the radio, steady as ever. You're clear. Climb to Angels 15, head east. I'll cover your exit. The 3 surviving Falcons pulled away climbing, engines straining. For the first time in hours, their radars were clear. But when they looked back, their jaws dropped. The Hog was still there, alone, circling, hunting. Every time a launcher tried to fire, she swooped down, unleashing hell. Every time armor tried to regroup, she shredded them with rockets. She wasn't just saving them, she was ending the threat. By the time the Falcons reached safe airspace, the valley was burning. Columns of black smoke rose like funeral pyres. The ground was scarred with fire and craters, and still the Hog flew on. Hours later, the surviving Falcons limped back to base. Their jets were battered, fuel nearly gone. Mechanics rushed to meet them, but the pilots barely spoke. Because waiting on the tarmac was the Hog. She touched down like a survivor from another world. Her fuselage riddled with shrapnel holes, paint scorched black, a section of wing nearly torn off. But she was intact. The canopy opened and the pilot climbed out. Helmet under her arm, sweat-streaked but calm. A woman of few words, eyes sharp as steel. The Falcon leader approached, removed his helmet, and snapped a salute. "Ma'am, we owe you everything." She returned the salute, her expression quiet, steady. "No, that's what family does." She walked away, leaving the Warthog behind like a scarred guardian. The Falcons never forgot that day. War isn't always about speed. It isn't always about stealth. Sometimes survival depends on one stubborn machine and the pilot who refuses to let it die. The F-16s were fast, sleek, built for dominance. But when the trap closed, when the missiles rose, it wasn't speed that saved them. It was thunder. Thunder from a Hog.